Alright, so I recorded this video earlier, tried to, but it turned out that I had a wiring issue. I was told that, this is a Machine Monday on this die filer, and yeah, earlier I tried to do a video, and the guy that I got this from, he said that it is 220, and with small machines, if you say 220, typically what that means is 220 single phase, because most small machines are 110 single phase. But he said 220, which is correct, but with bigger machines, if you say 220, like, you know, something like that, or that guy, if you say 220, it's implied that it's 223 phase. But I kind of assumed when he said 220 that it meant it was 220 single phase. So I like ran a receptacle for it and got one of those 3-prong twist locks and stuff. And it kind of ran, but it didn't want to. And that's because 220 3-phase. I don't know why it's called 220, but it's where there's 3 separate legs that are 110 volts each, and so 2 of them together, any 2 is 220. But that's my understanding, and I mean that's what all my machines are, is 220 3-phase, and that's what each of the legs is 110. So yeah, you can run a 3-phase motor on single phase if you like spin it, but if there's resistance that it can't quite get up to speed, it doesn't really want to go, and it'll kind of bog down and make weird noises and be unhappy, which is what it did. So that's why I'm refilming it. Sorry for that long intro, but yeah, on to the actual machine. This is a floor standing, as you can see, it's a floor standing die filer, and I don't have like chucks for it for files yet. I'll probably just make those, because I think the odds of finding new old stock for this particular machine would be pretty slim. But if you happen to have a spare set of die filer file chucks for a Cochrane No. 2 floor standing die filer, then I would gladly take them off your hands. But anyways, it's a die filer, but it has like a kind of a scroll saw type of setup at the moment, which is pretty cool, because it's particularly handy for this part, which will be in a different video on pantograph mill work. But anyways, what I need to do is make, I guess, a triple split clamp. No, I always say cramp. Split clamp. I don't know why. Every time. Anyways, a split clamp is it's kind of like a collet, but there's one slice in it, and if you could just picture, actually no, there's one right on the side of the machine. I'll show you that. There we go. This guy right here is a split clamp, that there. So it's like a solid thing with a hole in it, and there's a cut relieving into that, and so that and this guy is threaded, and this is just a through hole. So when you tighten this bolt, it pulls the threaded section, it mushes it together, and that's a split clamp. And so this is going to be, I need to cut from, actually I'm going to cut into that side a little bit, and then I'm going to cut all the way across and into that side, which you can do with a bandsaw if you have a blade welder. And I have a blade welder, but I'd rather not do that. What you can do is you can snap the blade on a bandsaw and then feed it through and then weld the blade back together, and then you can do that type of cut. But I'd have to cut it twice to do that, because I'd need to turn around. And it's narrow, so it wouldn't even work unless I had a narrow blade. So this machine, pretty sweet having it set up with a blade like that. As you can see, it's belt driven, so you can change the speed, and there's a handle crank, which is pretty sweet. And you might have noticed this guy here, this copper line, with it pinched on the end there, that guy is hooked up to this little compressor, and this little compressor is driven off of a piston right there. Or that's pretty much all that it is that piston, which is just super cool. Other things that are really cool, sorry about that glare, this is a dovetail, so that's really rigid and precise and everything. This is super adjustable, so that's sweet. And this is also really interesting. It's got this knuckle type of thing right there, and that's also, I guess, yeah, that's a split clamp right there with a handle on it, handle bolt. That's super sweet, and you can, you know, loosen that, and you can tilt the table. Oops, sorry, you can tilt the table to do different angles and stuff. And it's got this finger here, which is, it can articulate this way at that knuckle, or it can pivot right there, and it has this this knurled nut that you can tighten and loosen, and there's a spring in there. Oh yeah, this guy needs to be loosened too. That I'm gonna replace with a knurled bolt thumb screw, but that guy is on a spring, which is super sweet. But anyways, I kind of want to show you guys running the machine, but since it's 3-phase, that means the phase converter needs to be hooked up, or not hooked up, but running, and it's pretty noisy, so I don't think I'll do that today. But yeah, that is the Die Filer. Thanks for joining. Yeah, hope to catch you next week. Bye.